And we are live. Welcome back, everyone, to another round of My Patriot Report Live. I am Ratuan Hill, service disabled veteran, protege, and the bridge between next generation who's looking to shake up this federal contracting industry. And next to me, I have the Mr. Walter Cotton III, the individual responsible for helping the service disabled veteran owned small business community do well over 19 billion. The individual who is responsible for creating your favorite business development program, what is known as the SBA Mentor Protege Program. Mr. Cotton, how you doing today, man?
I'm well, thank you. I'm well. I'm trying to figure out, where I should look at on the screen because when I look at myself, we all have so much vanity, right? I look in the screen and I look a little cockeyed, right? So I got to figure out where to look. So now, is this my best? Is this my cockeyed side? How are you today?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I am doing great. Blessed and favored. Blessed and favored. Yes, sir.
Let's jump into it.
Absolutely. We talked early on about you taking on the role as president of the elite SDVOSB network, which is one of the nation's oldest VSOs, veteran service organizations, specifically for business purposes. And you initially started in New York, but some things came through the ethers where Florida became very attractive. And then you made the final decision, I believe, a couple episodes ago, where you said you taking your flag and planting it in Florida. So my question to you is, why now? Why Florida?
Well, they say charity begins at home and spreads abroad. And so I want to make sure that I'm clear to my New York constituents about the fact that I am anchoring this asset in Florida, in St. Petersburg, in my hometown. I still have my New York State responsibility as president of the Elite Service Disabled Veteran Network. And so you guys are not going to feel any less love because I'm anchoring this effort in my hometown of St. Petersburg, Florida. But the reason for doing that became clear once I looked at all of the data and the evidence. The people that helped me start this movement, the people that were actually accountable and are unsung heroes in this movement are there in St. Petersburg, Florida. My alma mater is there in St. Petersburg, Florida. When I looked at the demographics of a community that I was going to focus our veteranpreneur efforts on, revitalizing and define the attributes that community had to have. St. Petersburg has those attributes in spades. And so I'm actually taking an alley-oop in this situation because the table's already set there in St. Petersburg for me to do double duty, or should I say compound the outcome that I created under 10650 with this $50 billion effort I'm driving.
Indeed. When setting up something like this, a VSO, planting the flag, what type of components are needed to build that infrastructure out? Like, what are the key parts that you need that makes this so successful?
You need everything when you're building an organization like this, right? I mean, the VSO community has long been a volunteer community, right? When we came back from any conflict, whether it was World War I or Vietnam, the veteran community had to come together in a volunteer status to build out the infrastructure so that we could get our just desserts, like the GI Bill. And so in this particular instance, it's the same thing, right? Our veteran service organizations are made of volunteers like myself who ask individuals like you to join me in roles and capacity, whether it be on the board, leading the strategic direction of the organization, or actually, down in the pits with me, the day-to-day operationalization or administrative support. Most of this stuff is volunteerism. and we need to lean on the benevolence of the communities to support some of those roles. And so the question that you're asking puts me in a position to create an ask, right? I need all of those roles. I need all of those support systems in order for me to create the kind of national outcome I'm looking to produce. And those of you who want to be early adopters, you want to get the first movers advantage, you can join me as I put the infrastructure in St. Petersburg, where you may have an opportunity to shake off a few of those 50 billion shekels we're going to be throwing out there.
Absolutely. And that's what I want to, for $50 billion, man. What type of, I'm trying to see how to say this. What type of plays are you looking to put into action in Florida to produce that $50 billion outcome? Is it contracts? Are we talking investment funds? What is the, or is
it's
it
a combination? It's a combination of the meeting the nation at its economic development point of need right now, and taking advantage of the many organic lanes that they're putting in place. Like, for example, there is a major focus on reindustrialization right now. And the government is putting money in the hands of the Secretary of Defense to redeploy manufacturing assets and invest with the community in some of those assets. So we're looking at those high value targets that the government wants to invest in, and we are combining that tranche, right? We're combining that capital stack with other available capital stacks that we see out there, like the emerging opportunity zone capital stack, right? We know how to utilize that program as an investment advantage for both commercial and real estate. And we're supplementing that with the ability our disabled veterans have to be contract capture juggernauts, right? These are individuals who have the ability to take these bigger small business strategies. Ooh, did I let the cat out of the bag? I didn't mean to say it. Take those strategies to market and capture their desired share of the contract centralization that's occurring. So if you take those three layers and you put them together, what you have is a formula that focused revitalizes a community in any way that the stakeholders want it to be revitalized. And I'm taking that capability, focusing it in St. Petersburg, Florida. That's right. And then I'm going to expand that nationwide. So if you want to be an early adapter, want to be a part of something, take Mr. Hill's suggestion and volunteer to help Mr. Cotton, right? Move the needle in federal contracting in St. Petersburg.
Absolutely. This is an all hands on deck movement. So we were talking before, this is kind of like a full circle moment for you right now. You started in St. Petersburg, Florida, and you was, telling me the backstory, essentially about how you got to the point of having the lawyers, guns, and ammunition that you needed to produce $19 billion in federal contracting. Could you just tell the audience a little bit about how this really became a full circle moment for you?
It's not going to be full circle until I've taken the baton and handed it to the next generation, and they're out there duplicating what I've done. Coming home and having the opportunity to take some of the attributes that we have shared with places like Syracuse University and the Institute for Veterans and Military Family, and share those attributes with my alma mater is, I guess, an opportunity whose time has come. I mean, that's basically what we're looking at. I thought that maybe my days in the veteran advocacy space were over after we achieved the goal. But with the current events, it is clear that I need to come back into service because America wants its veterans to be rich. And in order for them to get there, they got to have the know-how. I've got the know-how, and I need to make sure that y'all have it. So I'm back here for a season, making sure that the next generation, and that's what you see sitting next to me, has the reins so that they can take this buggy and ride it on down the road to generational wealth transfer.
Mhm. Absolutely, absolutely. For the small business population, what do you believe is the win theme for this year? Is it speed? Is it compliance? Is it innovation? Like, what do you think is the winning theme for this year going to be?
Agility.
Agility.
That's going to be the win thing. I mean, you have to be agile enough to be what your customer needs at the point of need in this season. And I'm saying a mouthful there because, you all are not looking at the kind of you're not looking at the kind of contested challenges that are coming down the pipe for the United States, right? We've operated in a smooth, even keeled environment where there weren't the kind of disruptions that we're seeing in the streets of Iran, on the streets of America. But if you're looking at what's happening in Wisconsin and Chicago, things are changing. And so the need here now is for us to get our feces amalgamated and make sure that that these United States of America don't fall victim to some of the challenges that other countries are experiencing.
Absolutely. I know. Well, not to be too political or be political at all, but the president announced that, I know this is not set in stone, but he announced that next fiscal year for the defense budget that they're looking at over $1 trillion for the fiscal year 27 defense budget. And with all these events that are happening, I saw that L3 Harris got a $1 billion investment for rocket motors. Is this are they telegraphing that something is coming down the line, big, a disruption, a potential
Absolutely.
war?
I mean, I don't know if it's going to be war, but there is definitely something big in the works, right? You don't have to be a rocket scientist to figure that one out, right? And what I'm encouraging those people who have ears to hear, right, and eyes to see, is this is the time to do something about it, not tomorrow, right? And what I'm equally, sending out the call for, right, or trying to crack the code for, is to unlock that fourth branch of government, because the three branches of government that we have right now are not performing adequately. And for us, that fourth branch of government is we the people. And it's time for we the people, and I'm giving you an example. I'm eating my own dog food. It's time for we the people to stand up and say something. See something, say something. Right? Do something about it. Don't just wait for the government to fix the pothole, right? Don't just wait for the other individual to create the solution. Be the solution that you need for your community. And that's critical right now. And it starts with being the solution that we need to be at the voting booth, right? We have a midterm election coming up right now. We need to send a clear and deep-throated message to those people that are in office right now, what our wants, desires, likes, and dislikes are. This is the season to do it. And for those that are in office right now, you have no leg to stand on. What we're looking at in our country right now is an outgrowth of your apathy, right? Is an outgrowth of your impotence. And so you don't get a pass from my perspective. from my patriotic perspective. We need new blood, and we need new blood now.
Is it just the citizens getting behind the elite SDVOSB network, or is it even bigger than that? We need
It's even bigger than that, right? It's waking up and taking ownership of your inalienable right, right, as a citizen of these United States within the boundaries of the Constitution, right? It's your right to say you can't do that because it's outside of the boundaries of the rule of law, right? It's us as Americans, right, standing up to the American way and speaking truth to power of these, radical factions that are trying to take the soul and spirit of the country in the wrong direction. And we know what we're talking about. We know who we're talking about, right? We need to stand up and do something about it. And we don't need to wait until, we are Iran in the street.
Yeah, that's true.
Where we have some totalitarian leadership that we can't control because we've allowed, our most sacred documentation to be tinkered with. This is the season for that invisible fourth branch of government to stand up, show up, and show out.
Mm-hmm. And essentially, when they don't, well, not say when they don't, if the people don't wake up and say something about it or do something about it, essentially we're risking pain or things that happen like in Iran. We're essentially risking our nation's safety because this is going to affect people, individuals, is going to affect small businesses. It's affecting, other than small business, everybody is essentially going to be affected by this if we're not proactive about saying something and doing something about it, taking control.
You're absolutely right. And I apologize. I was distracted by a call that came in and read a very important voice message across my screen. So I did not hear what you said. Could you reiterate that? I apologize.
Oh, yes, sir. No problem. No problem. Yes, I was just essentially saying that if we the people don't say or do something, we're risking pain, meaning what we're seeing right now with all the with the ICE agents and the murders and risking what happened in Iran here, risking national safety, meaning small businesses are affected. People, it's a lot of pain that's going to come if we don't take control of the narrative and take control of the power that we essentially have.
Absolutely. This isn't the America that I grew up in, right? America's never been a perfect nation, but America was better than this. America was better than ripping children from their parents' arms. America was better than this. And I think that we need to capture the essence and the spirit of America and put ourselves back on track, right? We used to have barn raisings in this nation, helping our neighbors out. Yeah, we've got some dark history, but we've got some bright history as well. And I, for one, think that each and every red-blooded American citizen has a right now to wake up and say, hey, I like what we have. At a minimum, I don't want to lose this. And then start doing something about it, as I am.
Okay. I'm seeing how to ask this. What would be the appropriate steps to organize this? Is it like getting small businesses together in general, or getting the veteran population together in general, or getting a constituent together, like a body of constituents together, and going to Capitol Hill and and saying something like, what's the appropriate steps for us to?
Well, the wonderful thing is that we don't have to reinvent the wheel, right? This has already been done, right? And so there are, already organizations that have methodologies, practices, and procedures that are proven and that work, right? And the example I'm using by reconnecting with the Elite Service Disabled Veteran Network is I'm connecting with a VSO that has done it in the past, and we need to revitalize it so that it can do it again. So we don't need to reinvent new stuff, right? We need to take what we already have and make it work for us, right? So that's basically what you are asking me. What do we need to do? We need to find the systems that we already have, get within them, find our position, and maximize those roles. I mean, it's just that simple. And I've talked about change, the importance of us changing the way we look at things. We need to change the way we look at this need right now. We don't want to wait for the catastrophe, right? We don't want to wait for the bomb or the natural disaster to come together as neighbors, right? We need to come together as neighbors and do what's in the best interest of this country right now. And that doesn't always require a quid pro quo cash payment. What I mean by that, there are situations where you need to bring your skill set into the square to help the community, to help the neighborhood, right? Insulate itself or move to the next level, and not look for immediate cash payment, right? Look to the community to take care of you from that karmic perspective. We need to change the way we look at the system that we have in this nation. And I believe that that system will change.
Yeah, that's powerful. I know that could be a whole nother segment right there in regards to mindset and just being able to shift from one paradigm to another. But I did want to make a little pivot because we have the SBA 8A audit. The deadline is approaching January 19th. Some people might be feeling anxiety, and you might have other communities who are excited because they're like, man, I wonder what's about to be, what opportunities and contracts are about to get shooken out of this.
Interesting choice of words, deadline.
Mm-hmm. And the fact that it's on a federal holiday is kind of interesting to me. It's interesting to me. I'm quite sure that was by design, but the reasoning behind it is the question, or it may not be as important, the question to why they chose that day specifically. I mean, but what are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on what have you been hearing from the inside? Like, is it more of an anxiety, or is it like I'm just glad to just get this done and over with?
There's huge anxiety in the 8A community ranks right now. There is fear. There is concern. There are ANCs that are talking about getting out of the federal contracting game, right? They don't have to. They don't have to. It's not worth it. And so the interdependencies between some of these decisions that this administration is making are going to be on display as this audit and the outgrowth of this audit occurs. It's going to be ugly, in my opinion, right? And no Nostradamus, but I just believe that there is enough inefficiency in the 8A program that will mask itself as fraud, waste, and abuse that will give people, the opportunists, the stuff that they need to dismantle the program. And to say that another way, there are businesses out there that have been doing their best, but they didn't know what they were doing. They were suffering Dunning-Kruger effect when they were filling out their income statement or balance sheet or attesting to that particular item on the application. And those people right now are going to be labeled as being afoul of the rules and regulation, afoul of the law. And that is going to create disturbance in the forest.
Mm-hmm. Okay, what should the okay, two-part questions. What should the individuals not affected be thinking or doing? Should they be like looking for the potential well, I guess that would be kind of a far stretch, but I was gonna say, should they be looking at the companies that could be affected by it, or should they be preparing for their audit? I mean, in the other social economic statuses, because that's next in the pipeline. Unless something changes with the Department of Treasury, and I imagine that they may be going through the same process. So what should the small businesses right now, or any business that's not in those crosshairs, be doing and thinking? What should be the mindset?
I'm wanting to make sure I answer your question, right? Because I want to make sure I answer your question, because and I'm not following the question.
What should be the mindset of small businesses that are not in the crosshairs of this 8A audit right now? What should be their how should they be getting ready in this season? That was the first part of the question, and then the other part.
And so you're asking the question: what should the women-owned business? What should the veteran-owned businesses? What should the hubs-owned businesses be doing in the wake of the 8A audit?
Yes, sir. Yep. Everybody who's not 8A. Yep.
I would say that they should be making sure that their I's are dotted and their T's are crossed in compliance to, in compliance or in consideration to their reporting. That's all. And so in the event that the actions that hit the 8A, when they hit them, they're ready for it.
Man, so I could imagine how it would look for the other socioeconomic statuses when that hit. If is what's going on with the 8A is anything like how we imagine it to be, the impact that's going to have on the other businesses that, like you said, may not even been they may not have been aware of what they were doing, that they will be negatively impacted by this outcome. I could just imagine.
Yeah, but I mean, you could imagine a whole bunch of things, right? Sure. But the things that are probable, right? That's where you have to, catch that kite string of imagination and pull it down into realism, right? And the realism is that right now the 8A program is the program that's going through the audit, right? And based on the outcome of that, they may never do another program audit again anyway, right? And so I wouldn't be, tilting at worrying about the stuff that doesn't exist, because you have the ability to bring it into existence just by your musings.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like you said, what you think literally matters. Yeah. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Guys, if this has been valuable to you, if you have gotten information that you could use or somebody else can use, could you please like, share, repost, share this to somebody who you know could use this information, or another organization that falls into these socioeconomic statuses. And that's all I ask. Mr. Khan, do you have any closing thoughts that you could leave with the audience, the fourth branch of government? You have anything closing words for them?
I don't have any closing words today. I mean, my energy right now is in a state of flex as I prepare to dive in and drop this major gala event in St. Petersburg, which I'm talking to our friends over at the Dolly Museum about hosting Governor DeSantis and the other dignitaries. So I don't have anything to share as a closing thought today.
Yes, sir, absolutely. Well, I have a closing thought. Y'all need to get up from behind that couch, behind the screen, and y'all need to play a part because it's not something that just affects me. It affects you. It affects your uncle, your cousin, everybody affected. So you need to play your part, and that's it. And catch us back on Friday. I think I want to talk about the VNRE. I've been seeing a lot of comments on YouTube and TikTok and everywhere else. Everybody is commenting about VRNE. So I think I'll give you a part 2 on VNRE and share that. So please catch us back here, same place, same time. I am Retwan Hill, and that is the Mr. Walter Cotton III. Until next time, guys, we are out.